Alright, if you notice that weirdness in the sound, don't worry about it too much. I'm testing out some pre-recording stuff. Anyway, hey guys, hey, what's going on? Hey, hi, it's me, it's Tech. It's Tech Check. How you guys doing? So obviously this wasn't a stream. If you guys saw my announcement, Twitch is still doing weird things about its stuff and connectivity with OBS. I don't know. I don't claim to know anything about how Twitch and OBS interact with each other. I try my best. And that's all that can be asked of me, I think. What the fuck is that? I forgot I had that on loud. Don't worry about that. Blackrock Shooter event in Azure Lane is live now. What? I've never played gacha games while doing a recording ever before. Ever. I would never. I'm too professional. Anyway. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. I'm still taking credit for Hollow Ataraxia getting announced for a re-release. Other than that... What was that? Is that... Nothing, I guess. Alright. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I should... Before we go any further, we have some special guests to the left and right. Featuring some bullshit I found on Twitter. Because everyone loves to play with sprites like dolls. To the left, we have... Not even King Arthur could pull me out, Shirou. God, what a shirt. And to our right, Cancel Shinji. Don't worry about the text that's on his... Like, I tried looking. I think there is. I just didn't look hard enough. But, somebody made a little kind of joke screenshot series of Cancel Culture Shinji. It's stupid just remembering it, but you don't need to worry about what it said. I think the words Cancel Culture Shinji should explain everything you need to know about the whole thing, really. But this is, I think this is the first time I've used this, but I've had this one kicking around in my files for, I think, actually like almost half a year, maybe even more. I was like, why not? We're having some fun today. Speaking of, did I start in the middle of a loop? I don't remember. Hold on. Continue. I did start in the middle of a loop. I think I was tired for some reason. I don't remember. Let's just get to it. With a paperback book in one hand, I head towards Ryder's room. I finished reading the one she lent me, so I came to return it and borrow another. Ryder, I'm coming in. Oh shit, what's going on here? Let's close the door. Just, what is this? Tosaka is studying Ryder's hair from extremely close up, while Ryder stands by looking slightly bewildered. That's the expression I would say. Why is such a secret flower garden-esque atmosphere filling this room? I think I've already read this one. Seems familiar, but I can't place why. Ah, Emi-kun, what's up? We were just standing here, stupid. Why are you just standing there stupefied with the door open? I just came to return this book, but... What are you two doing? Emotions still being processed, my voice comes out like a robot's. Isn't it obvious? See, Ryder's hair is so beautiful, I just gave in. Gave in to what exactly? Just what are they really up to here? Shirou, you've come to return the book, correct? Please set it down over there. I'll put it away later. Okay. So, Ryder, did Tosaka find your weakness or something? I'm not entirely sure if there's if there's a barely perceptible mistake in the delicate scene painted before me, or whether it's simply intended to play out on the viewer's nerves. Now that I look at her more closely, however, it seems Ryder's not enjoying it that much either. I do not believe there's anything to become so alarmed about. Oh. I do not believe there is anything to become so alarmed about. Rin said that she desired a closer look at my hair, but when she offered to comb it for me, I simply accepted. So, okay. Oh, I see. Lucky. Wait, come to think of it, it's pretty rare to see you let someone else touch your hair, Ryder. And what about you, Tosaka? What is it about Ryder's hair that interests you so much? It could be related to magic. It's said that women have strong magical power residing in their hair, so this could be related to some kind of new magic she picked up while in London. Well, just look at it. She speaks, Tosaka gathers one section of Ryder's hair in her hands, and then another. Her eyes, as she stares at it, are full of serious concentration. All joking aside, now she's the same Tosaka Rin that appears when there's a precious gem around to be studied. Why doesn't she have a single split end? What are these two doing? I can't believe this. Have you got that much time in your hands, Tosaka? Look at it. Even though Ryder's hair is this long, how could it look so nice from dawn to dusk all day long? As a woman, it would be a lot more strange for me just to ignore this. I sometimes hear the same thing at the beauty salon. They appear to have difficulty accepting the fact that this hair this long could exist without split ends. Hair certainly seems to be a subject of unending interest to women. Oh, hair certainly seems to be a subject of unending interest to women. A tranquil smile surfaces on Ryder's calm face. She's thinking about women. Split ends, huh? It's not something I've ever experienced myself, but they seem to have a serious issue as far as girls are concerned. They do say that damaged hair will result in split ends, and girls with long hair must worry about this a lot. Shall I check your hair for split ends next, Rin? No, there's no need for that. Tosaka visibly falters at Ryder's proposal. You put a great deal of effort into caring for your hair, correct? Its appearance is so smooth and silky that even I am envious. That just makes me feel shy. Yuri-ass scene going on right now. Ryder catches the ends of Tosaka's hair between her fingers. Oh my god. The secret flower gardener meter just went off the scale. I wouldn't be so foolish as to say it out loud, but this kind of situation could easily lead one to imagine certain things. Oh my, take a look at this, Ryder. It seems we have an unwanted admirer staring at us. What? Oops, almost let myself get caught in there. Trembling, I tear my gaze away and look off somewhere else as I distance myself from them. Shirou seems to not have any split ends either. I mean, I probably do. I just never really bothered to look. What a shame. If only your hair were a little longer, it would have been your turn next. Rin's tranquil smile has been replaced by a smug grin. I know I'm a little late in realizing this, but these ladies are the same two who are neck and neck for the house title of most ill-tempered. Why don't we change the subject? Actually, the same subject is fine as long as we talk about literally anybody else. And her defensive stance. The way this conversation is going, I'll end up as a toy for the two of them before long. Someone else to say. That reminds me. There's another man in the area who I've wondered about before. Oh. Someone else to say. That reminds me there's another man. Blah, blah, blah. Ooh, I've never seen any guys with long hair around here with long hair. I'm speaking of assassin, Sasaki Hojiro. Ah. Right, now that she mentions it, even as a guy, I can't help but notice how nice his long hair looks. Hold on, that guy's such a slacker. It wouldn't surprise me if he really spends all day just taking care of his hair. Well, that never been read. However, man, he's also a servant. It is possible that his hair is also free of split ends. How humiliating. I don't want to ask him about it in here, so it's the split ends that trouble you, is it? Ha ha ha, yes indeed. A woman's concerned with her physical appearance is a blossom in a full flower of maidenhood. As long as you remain a maiden, strive to become more beautiful. Or something like that. Probably wake up sick in bed from the shock. That does sound like something he would say, being as concerned with aesthetics as he is. No, what is the wrong answer here? Her example is so fitting that I'm sure she's already heard those very words said from him. But it really is hard to resist the temptation to ask. And not just about the split ends. That warrior's Hayori he's always wearing must also require quite a bit of looking after. Then again, maybe not. No doubt that would end in me getting slashed in half. Let's just stop thinking about guys and their split ends. It's far too mentally taxing. You and Sakura both have quite a difficult time with your hair, do you not? I am doing well enough myself, so please keep help Sakura out, Rider. That girl has the potential to really shine with a bit more polish. I can't tell if this is consideration for her younger sister or a rival's encouragement. Yes, I shall help her so that in the future she may test her mettle against Rin with her chest held high. Although as far as chest is concerned, I'm the one in need of a push-up. Hey, you better not be laughing over there. Who's laughing? I'm not. To the streets! Wow. All this time. I guess there's still a harbor. What you got for me this time, Lancer man? At the harbor, there's a familiar face. Lancer can be found anywhere, but in the afternoon, this is where he devotes himself to his hobby. Well, what should I ask him? What you doing? The sky is clear. The autumn mood is covered up by the intense sunlight. The soft ocean breeze gently caresses my face. Only the screeching of seagulls breaks the peaceful silence of the docks. Without argument, this is a perfect location. As if this harbor was a symbol of the peaceful city for Yuki. However... I've heard of this. Right now it's bustling like New Year's and Lanterns Festival put together. Wait, there's more? Not to mention who... No, what more? Let me take a graphic, and I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Give me 1 second. Nope. I wonder what that was. Is that... Who are those? Who are those extra people hanging around that I'm assuming is Gil? They're very strange because there's nothing else that added to them. Where's the thing? Put that back. That's gonna look really weird later, but it's not live and nobody's gonna say anything, so I don't need to worry about it. Not to mention what more? The silhouette waving his high-grade rod like a big catch banner is without a trace of doubt. Whoa, amazing, Gil, is that a fish? That's fish! Whoa, fishy! Give me one! Gil, right everything's shaking, can I pull it out? Oh, the guy up there, his rod is so cheap. Gil's golden rods look so cool. Bit silly, maybe. Gil, where's this pink jump manga? Amazing, and Katsumini. Gil, can I throw that fish at that guy back there? Be quiet, you mongrels. You're bothering the losers around you. It's fine, Shirou. Not just one fish. You may take 10 or 20. Meaning, there's nothing to be afraid of. I won't get angry, so go ahead and pull it. Imahisa, I won't get upset from hearing the obvious, but I like your taste. You may go and buy some popsicles with this. Kanta, wait until I finish reading my jump first. Kota, that is a mad dog. Be careful when you hit him. Who? I guess that's the children's hero. What a letdown. I heard there was someone here who called himself the best. And what do I see instead? Some guard dog and a faker. Nothing compared to a king like myself. Ha ha ha, the hero laughs happily. From time to time, the kids paw on his cheek or hair. Oh, relying on numbers to win like always. And then you go and shamelessly spend big bucks on the latest equipment. What a disappointment. Relying on tools. How lousy of you, king of heroes. Surrounded by children, the red man defiantly pulls in another fish. Wait, you want to talk? Oh? But you're using a special order. I don't know these brands. I'm gonna say Fisashi. Super auto motion wheel yourself, are you not? Interesting. But even though your reel is better, my rod is still the best of the best. Let us compete to see whose equipment is superior, you lowlife. That's the legendary Kakamatsu Thunder 2006. The rod whose production was cancelled during test phase. Oh no, that's him. That's the legendary Kakamatsu Thunder 2006. The rod whose production was cancelled during test phase. How do bastards like you... Oh, that's my dad's. Gil said if he can steal it, we'll play together. Yay, laugh the kids. And then there's the blue guy who still hasn't said anything. Bastard. Can't believe these innocent children are being used by you, and you call yourself a heroic spirit. Fine. Winner keeps the rod. How about that? As you wish. Even though I don't want your bootlegged rod, I'll be keeping that reel if I win. Awesome. Gil versus Pro Fisher Guy. You don't see this stuff every day. I'm gonna call my dad over. Don't lose. Go get him. Good luck, Red Guy. I'm telling you, no file fish or yellowtail. Catch flatfish. Flatfish. Don't catch octopus like the guy behind you. Hey, Gil, that's great, but hurry. Repeat the jump. The harbor's tranquility is now nowhere to be found. The king of heroes, popular beyond all expectations, and the red guy, also somehow liked by the kids. And... Hey, Chen, are you catching any? Please give me back my paradise. Lance and Nissan hanging his head like it's the end of the world. Let's go back. This is no longer a place for the ordinary folk. I leave the harbor behind. Looking up, the sky's brightness hurts my eyes a little. Alas, at least Lance's lost paradise shall stay forever in my memories. What a scene. Really? Not even going out for like a walk or anything? What if I try going to the church? Extinction appreciated? Execution appreciated. What? Oh, was that a bad end? Oh, shit. Whoopsie. Well, that's hardly 18 minutes. Why don't we go for more? One more loop. Especially since I fucked up with that bad end. Hey! Girl whose voice I do is like a weird foreign accent voice for some reason. Hey, the border's changed. That's weird. No sign of people in the plaza. The House of God stands quiet. No visitors in sight. This place stands far away from the world. Further still from heaven. A place of confession for the lost. A girl unknown to me is waiting at the church. Whether it's the first time or the last, it has no meaning here. She's something that never existed to begin with. She is everywhere and nowhere. Just like him. The flow of time is irrelevant here. If I'm not mistaken, I'm visiting this place for the first time. I've got a lot to ask her about. I don't know anything about the person I'm about to meet. All I know is her name and the tense atmosphere that surrounded her. Caren. The sound of that name is like a delicate piece of glasswork, reminiscent of her figure. Whoa. Surely this won't get flagged either, right? It's not like a movie or anything, right? Oh. I open the door. The sunlight from the windows and the ceiling whites out my vision, blinding me. An uninhabited chapel. There, I see a nun, affectionately playing a melody on the organ. Did she not notice my arrival? She doesn't pause at her performance nor play a single wrong note. Without rising to greet her visitor, the woman remains dutifully at her task. A slight dizziness comes over me. Is it because of the high ceiling? The music of the organ reverberates through the chapel, filling the space with sound. I was about to walk up to the organ, then I had a sudden change of heart. I sit down at the very back of the rows of the pews. It'll be over soon anyway. Doesn't seem like it's one of those performances that last for hours. I could just wait for it to end. Tedium of the piece dulls my ability to think. It's so peaceful, it's making me sleepy. As I sit there dozing off, I surrender myself to the music worked by the woman's fingers. Just an ordinary hymn, nothing noteworthy about it. There's nothing special about her fingerwork, nor is her performance imbued with any emotion. She simply plays. It's as if she's performing a daily chore. The performance, it's as though she's praying. So this is what those who come to worship are so touched by. The house of God, built by the hands of men, and a song of glory in his name, written by a pen held in a human hand. The men of centuries past have endeavored to express something sacred by way of performances like this. In order to believe, and in order to make others believe as well, they gather to create these spaces, so far removed from those of familiar and everyday life. The cornerstone of the shared illusion. The crystallization of prayer for tranquility and forgiveness of daily trespasses. From that point of view, this place could be called an appropriate boundary for the eyes of God to rest upon. Even non-believers should be able to feel a divine presence in here. However, I'm afraid I feel nothing holy in this place. The image it brings to mind is that of ruin, nothing more. What I can compare it to is a wasteland, devoid of human life. What can I compare it to but a wasteland devoid of human life? I'm gonna throw up. I brought my head up with both hands and remained seated, waiting in a daze for the hymn to end. God and ruins, huh? Well, whichever it may be, both of them are hollow. The performance that grated on my ears is over. The woman rises from the bench, and the pipe organ disappears from the chapel. Well, like it dematerializes? What? That's right, the church never had such an exquisite organ in it in the first place. It's probably something she had brought here. A woman with the ability to bring something that huge and make it disappear is right up there with Castor in terms of mysteriousness. What? Although not surprised by my presence, she walks briskly towards the pew where I sit. Though she hadn't noticed me, but it looks like she knew all along that I was there. Thought she hadn't noticed me. Welcome, envies Shirou. Although our house of worship is quite dilapidated, as you can see, I will do my utmost to make you feel at home. What is this accent? If my memory serves me correctly... that's right. If you're thirsty, shall I prepare some refreshments? No, thanks. I didn't come here to have tea. Is that so? I know no other way to welcome you, so if there is something you require, please tell me of it. She's acting as almost her feelings have been hurt. This girl. She said she was welcoming me, but is this her first time greeting a visitor? Then allow me to introduce myself. I already know that you are the master of Saber, so there's no need to further introductions from you. What about you? Do you wish to hear my name? No, that's fine. I already know that much. I'll leave as soon as I've heard what I need, so there's no use for introductions. I answer her concisely. Perhaps she's surprised by something as her conversation suddenly stops. But, hey, is it okay if I speak? Yes. If you have questions, please just go ahead and ask. I have no questions for you. No, I do have one now, but that is not important. Is it so? Let's get this over with. Too many things I've been wondering about for too long. There are 3 things I intend to ask. Let's start with the first. So, my first question. You said your name is Caren. Who are you? Where'd you come from and why are you here in Fuyuki? And don't try to claim that you're here just to take in the sights. I am the successor of this church. Ordinarily, such a job would not have been entrusted to someone of my level. But in light of the current circumstances, I was temporarily appointed as its caretaker. I suppose as a mage like you would call me an agent of your enemy, the church. By agent, you mean part of the church's army? A hitman who passes arbitrary judgment on heretics and mages and eliminates them? No, I am no more like an executor in the legal sense. I do not possess the abilities of a true executor. It seems the church's previous caretaker was one, and of some repute at that. However, I myself have neither the authority nor the ability to pass judgment on heretics. I am merely an apprentice, acting on orders of the church, here to observe the city. An apprentice, huh? Is the church so low on manpower that they leave someone like that in charge? Well, I guess it does depend on the mission, but if yours is just to look around, then even a dog would be able to... The right person in the right place, as they say. I am indeed just an ordinary nun, but I was sent here because I am qualified for the job. The assignment the church gave me is to investigate the reappearance of the Holy Grail. To investigate firsthand whether or not the Holy Grail that was destroyed in the Fifth Holy Grail War is present. Not everyone can accomplish that. Her hands are kind of fucked up. Do you see that? That's weird. Okay, so you're an apprentice. But you're a promising apprentice, right? I understand now, so could you let it go? Your tone is a little irritating, but getting rid of your doubts over the issue is a good thing. Very well, you shall be forgiven. She quickly lowers her hands and takes a step back. I really came out of the blue. That woman with nary an expression on her face just walked right up and used both her hands to squeeze my face. Had I continued to make fun of her in that position, I dare say she might have headbutted me. Observing the Holy Grail. Well, I guess the church matters, so I'm not going to ask about that. The point is that you've been dispatched here. That means there's solid evidence that the Grail's reappeared, right? So did you find it? The Grail, I mean. I can confirm something that appears to be a Grail in function, although I am not able to secure it. My task is only to investigate. I'll be crossing the boundary of my assignment if I delve any deeper. Huh. So I don't intend to steal the Grail and take it with you? Wait. If it's only here to confirm its existence, hasn't your purpose already been met? I have fulfilled the mission that I was sent here for, but technically I was assigned here to act as an agent of this church. If there is something wrong with Fuyuki, it must be resolved. So you're contradicting yourself. You have no intention of taking the Grail, but you want to resolve the incident it caused? Not to the extent that you do. For the record, I ended up taking on 2 roles at the same time. That is, investigating the Holy Grail and acting as the priest in the city. For as long as I am trusted with both, I have no choice but to fulfill them at the same time. Oh, so you're just doing your job, huh? And then you found me. Great. I do appreciate a business-like approach, far better than some cheap sense of justice. So, where is the Holy Grail? You already know, right? You feel the presence of evil in those words. I shall not divulge it to you. She turns away from me. Looks like she's impressed. Well, whatever. Second question, then. That was a lot of questions for one question, Shirou. What's with those monsters? The girl's appearance and the abnormalities in the city gotta have something to do with them, right? That I cannot tell you, for I have made a promise. Furthermore, if I did tell you, it would damage your pride. Well, I don't really value my pride much. Besides, my pride would already be hurt the moment I asked the question. In other words, I'm prepared to cheat if that's what it takes to get full marks. It appears you are not pleased. Will you use force to attain the insight? I told you already, you don't interest me at all. Force makes it sound like, well, it's like I want to violate her out of anger and hatred. Never mind, I'm not going to push it. But what in the world are those things? Didn't one of those monsters come out of your body? I don't know about it, but it must have happened at least once. Come to think of it, there's something up with her. She's not scared of the monsters, she gets hurt for no apparent reason, and she even makes monsters appear. Maybe she's more than just a stage magician. She's more like a stage magician than a mage. You are mistaken. Imi Shirou, have you ever heard the term demonic possession? Demonic possession? I've heard of it. It's kind of a spiritual damage that's well known in the Western world. The Japanese equivalent would be something like a possessed by a fox or dog spirit. Inugami or... I don't know, the fox equivalent. Never mind. A non-human something invades a human and starts destroying them from the inside. Like a curse. The symptoms are too numerous to describe, but in the Western world they're caused by the concept of demons. For reasons unknown to humankind, demons tend to possess people who are considered virtuous. Compared to the Japanese concept of possession, which is based on the will of the curse caster, the Western one has no will at all. It's a phenomenon that occurs similar to like a traffic accident. Those who are possessed are often ordinary virtuous men, their minds are eroded by the demons who enter them. They disparage morality and the teaching of God, and they terrorize those around them. Not by direct violence, but by showing them what raw, ugly creatures humans become just by being stripped of reason. Those are the only initial symptoms, however. Those who have been afflicted for a while will be corrupted on the mental level alone. A severe case of possession causes a change in even outward appearance. The formless thing that possesses the victim will try to project itself onto the human body. The change begins from developing the level of body control that is unthinkable for a normal human being and ends with mutation of body parts. The changes depend on the class of the thing. The stronger the demon is, the further away from human the victim transforms. But fortunately, a demon cannot be resurrected in a human body. A person who is possessed will be forced into an unnatural transformation and simply die as a result. The Western depicted demons all look rather weird. Two heads, hooves, or limbs arranged into the shape of a hexagram. Definitely not something a human with only one set of arms and legs could imitate. However, they say there are some rare cases of humans who can resist the transformation. It's similar to how mages that crave knowledge can become vampires. There are apparently heretics who extend their lifespan by making use of the thing that continues to devour the blueprint known as their soul. And this woman... That too is a misunderstanding. Well, it is irrelevant to the matter at hand. I used to serve as an exorcist assistant. I was never possessed and do not believe I will ever be. A demon requires a healthy body. They cannot take root in mine. Then why bring it up in the first place? I could certainly see your body acting like that if it was possessed. Porca miseria. I guess like he just called me a miserable pig. I just said I was an impatient person. Well, shall we get to the real issue right after this? Just listen, please. We shall get to the real issue after this. Being possessed will produce many forms of supernatural symptoms. Like knocking sounds that are associated with a poltergeist disturbing surroundings, or interference with the host's body. You could say it's like a disease that only affects the host. It is a poison that does not spread to others like a virus would. No kidding. If you can catch demons like a cold, I doubt there'd be any normal humans left by now. That's probably true. However, just as there are people with high degree of sensitivity towards the supernatural, the consistent presence of evil spirits, there are people that experience the same symptoms just by being near victims of possession. Frankly speaking, I am referring to myself. Whenever I get near something that is possessed by what is said to be an evil spirit, My own body would produce the exact same symptoms that the demon would have caused. My master referred to it as masochistic pneumatic automatism by thesis. No pause or hesitation. Caren has just said something that might send me into a major depression if I think about it too hard. What, so basically you'll turn into a demon if you get near one? Although that is an idiotic response, let us say it is correct. To be exact, it is an automatic reproduction of spiritual damage of demonic origin. Let us say you got infected with a cold. Assume that it is still during the early stages before the symptoms show, so your body just feels a little heavy. Now if I get near you, the symptoms will eventually be caused by the disease that appear in me. The number of patients increase to two, so to say. While it seems that they cause harm to you, it is not fundamentally a trait that is a problem to others. Please do not worry about it from now on. Even if you say so. Well, I wasn't worried in the first place, but no surprise attacks, alright? I just can't shake the feeling that getting close to you will cause a lot of pain. You're right. I am frequently under evil influence. Yourself aside, Shirou, the presence of monsters will have an effect. If you do find this prospect threatening, you shall do well by staying away from me whenever they are nearby. I'm not sure I understand, but this is one bit of advice I should probably follow. Alright, once things get serious, let's try not to get too close. Randomly hurting each other is no good. So back then, most likely it was the type of symptom caused by those monsters. When they are glow, it appears they do have a demonic connection. In other words, if they aren't near, she won't go nuts either. If so, will those monster symptoms be creation of the same monster? We shall leave my traits aside for now. How about we continue with your questions? Yeah, sure. Alright. Third and final. I want to ask about the city's abnormality. I don't know why, but the Holy Grail has come back. And so the Holy Grail War has started around it. Or so we thought. Battle is vague and somehow odd. Osaka said that it wasn't a restart, but rather reproduction. Let's assume... Yeah, just for the time being. For the time being, let's assume that there's a master who wants the Holy Grail. What could they hope to accomplish by continuing to end this war? To continue the fighting, of course. To continue the fighting that ended with the conclusion of the Fifth Holy Grail War. That is the single origin of all abnormality in this town. Saying that something is wrong in itself. Everything in this town is wrong, because of some person's wish. A false 4-day period is being fabricated. The woman of the church who has come to investigate says it's all because of someone's wish. So the girl's already been used after all. So it's all fake then. For a brief moment I feel as if I'm about to die. All fake. The second those words leave my mouth, the despair alone almost kills me. As if all the heat in the universe is instantly dissipated. No. What's fake is only one person. Even if the day-to-day life of these 4 days is impossible, it could also happen in reality, as long as the characters were present. While the premise of a restarted war is a mistake, the events that occur within it are no illusion. These days are real. Even if these 4 days end, your life will continue appropriately, and Shirou will lose nothing. Anyway. Who's feeling relieved? Pretty sure it isn't me. Oh well. There's no falsehood in her words. It's definitely true. My ready-to-die self has sparked back to life again. Is that so? That's great. If this will continue, all there is to do is get rid of these 4 days. So... you don't have any connection to the reproduced Holy Grail War, do you? I vow unto the Lord. To return to the original topic, my aim and yours are the same. The investigation of the Holy Grail and for Yugi's tranquility. To complete these 2 tasks, I will collaborate with you. Of course, cooperation only means providing you with information. I'll turn that down because I think that's where it was. I should really leave like a note for myself where these normally go. I cannot bring changes to this world. The only one who can solve this problem is you, who participate in the Faithful Grail War. Why? Oh, yeah. I know you're not directly involved. I can accept that ending. The war falls to those who have participated. But why just me? If Tosaka or Sakura or any other master wins, this battle is a reproduction of the Fifth Holy Grail War. You were the victor of the war. Based on that, if you want to dominate the battlefield, it should still be you. Only Emilia Shirou can end the Fifth Holy Grail War. Listen well. If we want to stop this reproduction, either the one who made the wish must willingly give up the Grail, or, like before, you who emerged victorious must defeat that person. This feels like a word game. You're saying that since this is a reproduction of the Fifth Holy Grail War, I must also end it must also end the same way, with me winning? Yes, that is a conflict between Holy Grails. High-level magic is a battle between concepts. It's not like a question of strength, but rather a test of which one possesses the most sound system of rules. I do not possess sufficient magic to defeat the system known as the Holy Grail. Being a mediator is the best I can do, even if I wished to join the regulations of it's taught me. Sounds like she's got her hands tied. Got it. I'll at least thank you for the time being. I know what to do now. I stand up. I've asked enough, and it's about time for me to go. I want to hurry back to the city. Leaving already? There must be something else you want to know. Sure is, but I doubt you would know. Like where the person who made the wishes, or how to get rid of the monsters. I'll just look for it myself. I'll get the culprit to spill all the boring details once I find them. I don't have any business with you at the church anymore. She got angry. I wave and head out. This church has always been giving me a headache. I don't want to stay for too long. Frankly, I don't want to have anything to do with this woman either. Wait, there's one question I'd like to ask. I've answered all of yours, so please answer one of mine. How could I possibly refuse? Alright, make it quick. Hey, why isn't she talking? Hey, you got a question, right? Spill. Really, you're so much ruder today than you were the last few times. What? My mind goes blank for a moment. Was that her question? The last few times meaning when? The times we met you that you know of. When we happened to cross each other in the park and on the mountain, you were a little more gentlemanly. It's not a question, she's only complaining. Not only is there no way of reading her feelings, her thought process is also hard to handle. I'm just grumpy today. It's location's the problem. If we were literally anywhere other than the church, I'd probably be a little better. Is that so? I must remain here during the day. A meeting during the night can only occur near the end of the 4 days. And it seems like our connection is bound to remain like this. Ah well, don't worry about it. Either way, I won't be coming back. This time I'm really leaving the church. Really. I don't get halted like this when I'm here. The door closes. That's why I don't want to associate with her. Who the hell asked her to pray for me, for my safety? I mean, look. If she does that, it makes it seem like I'm out of luck or something. Something new in the area house. Something new in the area house. Let's go talk with Slaver. Wait, what? You've already seen this scene. Skip the... What? Yes? Ah, okay. A little lie can save a life. That's the best flavor of the worst, yeah. I quickly set the tray down while in retreat mode. Yes, and thank you for the tea. I'm particularly grateful for the chocolate truffles. Yes, and thank you for the tea. I'm particularly grateful for the chocolate truffles. What? I'll owe my apology to Fujini for misbehaving. Wait. I hear footsteps approaching. And they aren't just passing by. They've stopped right in front of the room. Saber-san, can we? Shit. Sakura? Crap, this isn't gonna be funny. Saber, some of your purchases got mixed up with mine. Furthermore, if Ryder's around, then we're way past just not being... Oh, Saber, some of your purchases got mixed up with mine. Furthermore, if Ryder's around, we're way past not just being funny. This is outright frightening. Our eyes meet for but a brief moment. There's no time for words. To avoid trouble, we only have a single choice. I hide in the closet. Not much of a hiding spot, but there's no other place that could possibly conceal a grown man around here. We're coming in, Saber-san. It's only natural she'd be at a loss for words, especially when being greeted in the nude. She definitely saw us. Looks like it's taking a while for the panic to set in. Saber's like a museum exhibit that Sakura's observing from different angles. She really should hurry up and put something on. Even Ryder seems to be having a hard time. Forget about Le Fleur of all things. I appreciate it, Sakura. No problem. But, before that, how are you so thin? Huh? Despite the fact that every single day you have seconds, you never fail to have a snack at 10 and 3? It's not fair. I got a feeling she just asked something she probably shouldn't have. You're not quite the glutton yourself, Sakura. It's not that I'm envious because you can eat so much. And besides, I do eat a fair amount if it tastes good. But then I have to worry about dieting every time too. Sakura, at the risk of sounding arrogant, I will offer you a piece of advice. You do have a secret technique, don't you? A person that enjoys their food without worry ends up with a far more delicious meal. I'm telling you I can't! However, Sakura doesn't look like she's gained any weight. Girls sure are complicated. Look, there's no flap in your upper arms, your stomach is nice and flat, and your ribs stick out a little. That's not healthy, Sakura. Do you mean that you have mastered some secret British dieting technique? Yes, the secret British dieting technique of having terrible food. Or are you secretly doing aerobic exercises every day? I think it's because she's a servant. You speak as if it would be considered foul play. That's not it, Sakura. I simply cannot gain weight. A straight answer, like a powerful fastball. And like a batter that struck out, Sakura's frozen stiff. My body stopped growing the moment I pulled the sword from the stone. That's right. My body stopped growing the moment I pulled the sword from the stone. For that reason, no matter how extravagant the meal, I will never gain weight. Yet I can go on without a single slice of bread and never lose any. Yes, while it left me unable to retain the dignity and physique worthy of the king, I felt it was quite convenient on the battlefield during times of war. However, now that I'm also unable to ever reach the splendor of a woman in full bloom, I'm starting to feel a bit of tinge of... Sakura, are you listening? Fucking knocking her head on the fucking table. I see, well, that's what it was. I mean, really, even though it was kind of strange. Ryder, what is wrong with Sakura? You would do well to think more of the power of your own words, Saber. It is certainly unusual. The fact that beings known as servants are not bound by the rules of this world should be well known to the masters. There's nothing to be surprised. You will grow strong, Sakura. Strong enough to not lose to this thick-skinned servant. I'm no stranger to a body complex myself. I understand your sorrow like my own. Right. Studied Tonight, let's go on a diet. I'll help too. Every night, getting out of the bath, I shall mark my weight on a graph and calculate my calorie intake. Right. It's alright. I'll always be by your side, Sakura. Right, your body never changes either, does it? Nothing escapes a girl's eye, huh, Sakura? Rider, it can't be. Yes, I was silent until now, but even you're lying, right? Since I am a servant, it doesn't matter how much I eat. Don't get any taller than this. Wait, why are they talking about height? Our conflict is in our height. Now it's not gonna be petrified. At least you guys did not worry. At least she's been going into a petrified state as a means of coping with shock. Oh, her body aligns itself with the servant? I see. I don't know how much of that was meant seriously, but from now on I'll have to be careful to avoid causing her to petrify. It's the thing she can do, I guess. I see. Although I do not have any ill intentions. Nope, just told her the cruel truth, that's all. We shall get going then. Take care of yourselves. The sound of stone being dragged across the floor. Oh my god, what is happening? Sakura has become quite a burden. Oh no, this is normal. Perfectly normal. What a fucking scene. I can come out now. As if. It's absolutely charming to see how well those two get along. Who is this? Anyway, just put something on. That's right, the army. I see, indeed. Oh, okay. So it's absolutely charming to see how well those two get along. Anyway, put something on. That's right, the armor. I see, indeed. Finally, Saber's appearance has settled down. Rather, it's me who can now take a breath. While my mind is relaxed somewhat, I voice a random thought that just occurred to me. Saber, about the swimsuit from before. Right. Now how to be a more suitable place to show it off. How about we go to the pool in Shinto sometime? Quite out of character. Scratching my cheek, I force it out. I mean, I heard a new pool opened in Shinto, so... A brief pause. Then, Saber, after taking a quick breath. Yes, I'll gladly accompany you. Just like that, a pool date promise has been made. And accomplished. Anything? Okay, I'm gonna call it a day then. I feel like going after the church will end prematurely again. And we're only just barely scratching at an hour, so... Oh, fuck, okay. We can go to the outskirts, okay. For the afternoon, then. Let's see if there's anything new there. We really are fucking... bottom of the barreling it, at least for this current phase. I see Caster. Come to think of it, it's not unusual to find her meditating here. I wonder if there's something she's thinking about. She did turn me down when I tried asking about the Holy Grail War last time. Oh, she did turn me down when I tried asking her about the Holy Grail War last time. Maybe now's the right time. Maybe I could go be able to hear the real story from her. Oop, shit. Asking for the real story? What am I saying? I've already asked Caster everything I needed to ask. If I question her any further, I may end up touching on the truth. That's too reckless. No matter how much she prefers living a peaceful life, she's still a natural-born witch. She's going to eliminate mercilessly anything that does not serve her interests. As if sweeping away all the dust before her, without hesitation. I can't let my guard down. I was living amongst someone whose very existence is something that hurts others. Showing any weaknesses at all is fatal. Yeah, she's the witch of betrayal, Medea. An anti-hero viewed as the enemy of humanity. I recall the myth. The princess of sorcery who received the teachings of the great witch Circe, or Kirke, depending. A cunning witch stood behind the demise of many countries in the Age of Gods. At least two. Most of that was Jason's fault. It's Medea Lily! Princess Medea. The daughter of Aeetes, the king of Colchis, the edge of the east, or the Greek world of the eastern coast of the Black Sea. A sorceress who received the teachings of Hecate, goddess of magic, a princess who led a sheltered life as the king's daughter. The innocent princess who was raised unbeknownst to the outside world was plenty content with just that. She neither wanted wings to set herself free, nor did she long for a vast outside world. She loved the country she was raised in, and was satisfied with living her whole life in the mountains. However, with the arrival of heroes seeking glory, the girl's hopes were shattered. The captain of the Argo appeared from the outside world. Jason, the hero who arrived seeking the treasure of Colchis, the Golden Fleece, would cause Medea to betray her country. It was because the goddess aiding Jason, Aphrodite, put a curse on Medea, which caused her to fall blindly in love with him. Medea betrayed her father, gave the Golden Fleece to Jason, and escaped Colchis with Jason, now her husband. Even as the king of Colchis pursued the Argo to reclaim his daughter, the cursed Medea used magic to tear apart her brother, who accompanied them into pieces and scattered them across the sea. Grieving, the king collected his dead son's remains, and Jason and company used the opportunity to put Colchis behind them. Like this, the foreign invaders shook off their pursuers. However, it is said the disquieting atmosphere of the Argo did not fade. The princess who presented her homeland's treasure to the man. The woman who went as far as to kill her own brother for the man she loved. The heroes on the boat unanimously castigated the girl who was the princess of Colchis. As if regarding something disgusting, filthy, the heroes avoided the girl. Fortunately for Medea, whose heart was bound by the goddess's curse, she saw their condemning gazes as no different than a mere sea breeze. She was content with hearing only Jason's words. I'm sorry, but you've done well, Medea. That's right. So long as she could hear such words from the man she loved, she could endure the hero's disdain. The regret of abandoning her country, the sinful betrayal towards her father, the punishment of murdering her own brother, were all things she could withstand. And yet, not once did she hear such warm words from her husband. The return voyage ended without the slightest problem. Jason married the foreign princess's wife and returned triumphantly to his own country of Iolcus with the promised golden fleece in hand. But what awaited there was the death of his parents and the annulment of the promise. Once the golden fleece is returned, thy throne shall be recognized. Peleus, the king of Iolcus, who promised this to Jason, cowardly laughed it off with a simple play of words. Fueled by rage, Jason commanded his betrothed. He's a cowardly usurper. Kill King Peleus. Though seized by her love towards Jason, Medea was still but a young girl. It was the girl who had been shattered by her deed against her brother, Jason repeated insistently. Kill, kill, kill King Peleus, who broke his vow. Kill the king's relatives. That's right, the king alone will not suffice. Kill that unsightly successor and the 3 princesses too. It did not take long for Jason to prepare the assassination. The king and his daughters were invited to Jason's house. In the center was the witch's cauldron. The girl had been bestowed by the great witch Hecate, crystallization of secrets and a foundation of mysteries. I just realized this is the title music. It's the music that plays in the title. It's probably really important. Like we're explaining the character's backstory now. I wasn't paying attention. My good king, we welcome you to our humble abode. Before anybody realized the end had already begun to draw near. Unable to resist the man she loved and the curse of the goddess, Medea would use her own magic for the murder of the king. King Peleus, let us feast our eyes on King Peleus, let us feast our eyes on my wife's secret arms, the man she loved said proudly. The girl stirred the cauldron with eyes weary from crying. This would be the secret art of rejuvenation. Oh, this would be the secret art of rejuvenation, the magic in which my wife is particularly skilled. Thus spoke the man she unknowingly came to love. Unable to oppose, the girl continued the ritual. Let me go back. The hand stirred the cauldron, grew ever so tired, feeling like lead. Come to think of it, for the moment she had put her country behind her. Had she even ever been able to sleep peacefully? Her mind and body exhausted, she continued on as if surrounded by thick fog. Being this tired made her forget. Being this sad made her dull. Oh. Had she learned magic to do such things? She cut up an aged sheep and placed it into the cauldron. Stir, stir, splash, splash. It melted and disappeared. And then, the aged sheep that had lost all shape and figure revived at the hands of Medea. Its skin brilliant and its eyes full of life. The aged sheep was reborn a lamb. The king, impressed, requested that he be rejuvenated as well. Then the girl spoke, just as instructed by the man she loved. For that purpose, the body must first be cut apart. This art requires that you die once. The king, fearless, ordered the 3 daughters he loved to perform the dire deed. The 3 princesses cut their father to pieces. The king was thrown into the cauldron, and then... I saw it! Those fiendish daughters covering up their own father! Their father did not revive. The 3 princesses cried and screamed. The man she loved then bound the woman. The gods will never forgive the sin of patricide. Daughters of King Peleus, take up your own lives. The 3 daughters cried and shouted. Why has this happened? They cried out. They pleaded for forgiveness not from the gods, but from their father, the king who they had killed. The unfamiliar man, called Jason, did not forget even one of them. The goddess's curse vanished at that moment. Her clouded heart finally cleared up, but it was too late. Betraying her country, killing her brother, killing the king through trickery, going as far as to let the 3 innocent princesses die. That day, the girl had undoubtedly transformed into a witch. Let me go back. The splendor of Jason's ascent to the throne lasted but an instant. The people learned of the king's murder, and they drove Jason and the foreign witch out of Iolcus. Jason, who had no place to return to, took the witch and roamed Greece, wandering at last to Corinth. The king of Corinth welcomed Jason, and before long proposed matrimony with his daughter, Glauce. Married Glauce and obtained the kingship of Corinth. or keep the witch as his wife and continue to receive the king's protection. Jason didn't hesitate. Even though he'd begotten 2 children from the witch, their bond was not enough to keep him near. Jason abandoned the witch and ran to Glaucus' side. Please don't go. Please don't go. I threw aside my home and country for you. I gave up everything for you. Have pity. If not for me, then the children, I beg of you. To the witch who clung tearfully, the man said, What are you trying to say? Was that not your fault that I lost my country? You terrible foreign witch. I never loved you even once. For she knew it, home was too far. All hopes lost, she stepped onto foreign soil. Let me go back. And so, at the end of a long journey, her only desire was born. But how could it be granted? Everything was but a dream of paradise. The girl became a hideous witch, and even upon returning home, not a single soul would believe her to be the young princess. She had changed too much. Even as the castle she lived out her childhood in remained unchanged, surrounded by the same greenery. And then, on the day of the marriage of the man named Jason, in the midst of countrywide celebration, Corinth fell. Glauca, the bride, was engulfed in flames, and the hero was to become the new king, was forced again to a life of wandering. The tale that follows is no longer part of the legend. It is said that the young man who had led the heroes as the captain of the Argo, while pondering the wreckage of the ship, was crushed to death by its fallen stem post, and that the girl brought home with him became a witch and continued to wander the lands of Greece. Even now she gazes over yonder from the ashen shore, the many sins she had accumulated. Let me go back. And the many dreams she had left behind. Let me go back. Though she knew those wishes would never be granted, I just want to return to my country before I die. As though in astonishment, the woman continued to hope. Atonement, sorry. Dizziness overcame me, as if having seen a fragmented dream. Oh, that's right. Wasn't I going to ask something? I'll be alright. So long as I'm careful of a conversation. So long as I'm careful, the conversation should be fine. It's akin to jumping into a lion's den out of curiosity, but this time the witch seems sated. Surely she'll overlook an unpleasant question or two to kill some time. Back again so soon. I don't know what you intend upon, but you sure have guts. I'm sure you know how dangerous it is to approach me when I'm alone. Just as she says herself, being nearcaster when there's no one else around her is unquestionably dangerous. The real hazard is not the fact that she can use magic without the concern of prying eyes, but the fact that she cannot control her emotions while not under the scrutiny of others. Once caster snaps, there's no way to stop her. She may act like a calm witch if an outsider were present, but if alone, her feelings run wild. Well, people do call that being emotionally unstable or delusional. Oh no, there's just something I've been curious about. You look like you were in a good mood, so I thought I would take the chance to ask you. The atmosphere grows ever so slightly heavier. I guess she's already figured out what it might be about. Sorry, there was a pause there earlier, and in the stopped time I went and got lunch. Pardon me. could that be? I don't suppose it would be anything pleasant. It's just a question. I definitely don't want to overstay my welcome, so I'll just get to the point. I know you have no intention of doing anything with the current situation. I've got nothing to say about that. There's just one thing I'd like to know. For some reason, as skilled a sorceress as you, figuring out something like these 4 days should be a cinch. So be honest. Don't you know the truth behind what's happening already? How very interesting. I should know all the workings behind this, you say? A broad grin spreads across her face. It's the polar opposite of her smile from before. A smile that carries an unmistakable omen of death. Unfortunately, you're way off, boy. It is true that at first I had tried all possible means and seemingly almost grasped the root of it, but my current self is still one step away from that. The play ends when all is known, doesn't it? That is why I ceased the search and just let it be. So you stopped there, huh? Isn't that the same thing? It means you pretty much don't know already, doesn't it? Yeah, kind of. Indeed, but I have not told anyone yet. Because if the culprit is found, then the whole affair would be end. Since the culprit can't do anything, we have no obligation to forcefully capture them either. I see. There are no victims, so you're just spectating. You're quite the passive character, aren't you? And then will you stay a spectator from now on as well? I believe I already told you that I have no intention of getting involved. Sorry. But when the end comes, I cannot say that will be the case. If it were to end, then I won't be silent. Rather, it's not me, but my master who won't. Well, it's the same thing in the end, says Caster. She may not be the treacherous witch, but her obedience to her master, Kuzuki Soichiro, is absolute and unwavering. Well, you could also say she's head over heels for him. He seems to think he's not been found out yet, but it's a well-known fact that everyone aside from Kuzuki and Caster. The moment Kuzuki Soichiro says, "Assist me," to Caster, she would obey regardless of what it was. You said you wanted it to continue like this, but should Kuzuki-sensei tell you to settle it, would you help? That's right. I won't interfere with the culprit, but I won't cooperate either. No, I can't do that. Whether it ends or it does not, there's nothing for me to do about it. Do you get it? That's why you're an eyesore. If you want to continue, then you should let it continue until you grow tired. Yet you yourself are trying to interfere. Seriously, how many times have I thought of killing you? Just for the record, was that a joke? Oh my, you want to know whether I'm capable of making jokes already, don't you? A friend is making a weird decision in my Discord. My back freezes twice over. I knew it wasn't a good idea to stay here for long. I do understand that you're nothing but a bystander. I just want to end this talk here, but say, why didn't you kill me? Just once would have been fine. Well, not really. Since it's the caster we're talking about, you'd think she'd lose it and skewer me at least once already. No reason in particular. My master never wishes it to happen, that's all. She declares flatly. I smile at her graciousness. I see. I guess so. One last thing I'd like to ask. Suppose the Kuzuki Soichiro notices this abnormality. What do you think he'll do? Will he try to solve it? Or will he just leave it as it is? Say what's really happened to the two of you. For an instant, the air is completely frozen. I could have died 4 times within these 3 seconds. Caster, restraining the magical energy that can kill me with just a glance. He would resolve it. Soichiro's consciousness is different from yours, boy. But he's still so correct that what he feels is wrong. Her answer has a shadow of sadness in it. I see. So your master's kind of like me. I say that to myself in reverence, as I let out the melancholy that had built up in my chest. That is wrong. It is you who is like Soichiro. Her reply echoes with pride. Then we'll leave it at that. Sorry for bringing up something so trivial. Please feel free to just stay here and be as different as you want. You don't have to tell me that. But oh well, to show respect out of all the hard work you're doing alone, I'll see you off with when everything's about to end. I'm dumbfounded. Her words leave me speechless. What's with that face? Do you not understand that what I'm saying? When the final moment comes, I got it. You'll give me a hand. I'll no doubt be relying on you. Frankly, having you two helping me just might become my best encouragement. I leave Castor's garden. She fixes her robe and sees me off. What an unpleasant subject. Even though she was in such a good mood. Oop, but there was just one moment where she looked like her past ominous self. Oop, shit. What really happened to the two of you? The boy who said that is already leaving. The witch conceals her body with a black robe and, rather than disappearing, stands completely still. Someone who is like someone. Someone who is alike to someone. I see. Your master's like me. The present that is like reality. The illusion that resembles reality. That's wrong. It's you who are like my master. The disjointed thoughts swirl together and dissolve. A muddy mess. Scenes of the present world that have already become the memory of another. Memories from when she still lived as a human and a bad dream she had just seen a little earlier. Like the cauldron where the old sheep was boiled. The dead and living are mingled together. What really happened, you ask? The witch bites her lip ominously. Perhaps an evening shower. Thunder can be heard in the distance. The sound of rain hitting the trees evokes a vision of the scene where they first met. Even if she gives into frustration, only one thing comes to her mind. That day, the dried-out plain palms of the man that grasped the hand of the foolish woman who had never been chosen by anyone. Rain is falling. She looks down briefly, only to see that the hand is covered in blood. Straining her ears, she could hear ragged breathing, a body frozen like ice, and her head frighteningly black. It's rain. A body threatening to vanish, her reason threatening to collapse. The sky she looks up at is high. She calls for help and receives none, and the fading body grows even colder. Oh, but tonight is different. Her magical energy is running out. There are a few spells at her disposal, and none to secure a vanishing life with. No, to begin with. Because the night when the cold rain fell was warmer and filled with light. His death was nearly instant. This is the story of one man. It began about 25 years back. The story of a lethal weapon that was tempered for nearly as long as he lived. Shit, Soichiro backstory, let's go. He did not know that group was right up until the very end. What group? He did not know what that group was right up until the very end. Okay, I understand. In the middle of the secluded mountains, amidst the community that gathered and lived together like mountain ascetics, he came into existence. Without parents or siblings, he was born as a child with no connections whatsoever. It might be more accurate to call it an emergence rather than a birth. The baby grew up in the midst of that gathering. Fortunately, he was pure. Even though that wasn't much of a place for living. Even though that probably wasn't how people lived. He knew not of the outside world, accepted that gathering. 20 years since then. He did not leave his allotted 10 square meters of forest, and continued to temper the one technique he was bestowed with. Around the age of 10, he was told that the community was a factory, a place where the necessities of daily life are mass-produced through the work of many. Since he had no experience in creating things, he didn't have to wonder which side he was on. He had no objection to the fact that he was a daily necessity. Instead, you could probably say he was relieved. It would have been strange otherwise. All day long, he single-mindedly repeated the same steps. No need for variety, just perfect this one action, said the... That's the same as being a tool. They consented to the fact that they were tools being used by total strangers, and further polished their function. Put it another way, those unable to come to terms were grief-stricken, became unable to keep up with their daily work, and disappeared even from the memories of the tools. It was shortly after that when he guessed his own function. Extra knowledge was driven into them from when the time came. Daily necessities, though they may be, they had to become pseudo-humans to manifest their function. The knowledge necessary to function as a human, while considered an excess, it was rare for them to be used without that knowledge. Although it would seem they were against including extra functions, it was something unavoidable. To him and to it was no doubt an agonizing decision. Knowledge that he hadn't been taught until then. Things that are common knowledge for a human. Things that would make him inconsistent if learned. He was only dead weight to slow him down. However, thanks to that knowledge, he learned the name of his function. Murderer. To be detected by no one, to kill the victim before they're even aware of it, that was the function expected of him. Being a fast learner, he left his 10 square meters of forest and came to serve more frequently at the court. But even that happened only once a month or so. There he learned of the cost of perfection, the appearance of the who were using him. The court was an immaculately clean place. The building where demons were said to live, the place rumored to be a hellish pandemonium, was in fact a spotless white world. The scraps of tools that didn't listen to the and were disassembled while alive, and the remnants of those who brought shame to and had their brains transplanted into animals as punishment. And the fish tanks, packed with the flesh of the children who were gathered for the comfort of nothing. None of it was there. Those were all the things that certainly happened, but they had nothing to do with this place. In this pure space, having known not one speck of guilt, as an ineffective form of staving off boredom, aiming for nothing but the expansion of tonight's menu by a mouthful, exchanged completely unrelated human lives for money. Please save me. I don't want to die. Please let me go. Those pleas were to be all laughed off as filthy and silenced. And so, without the even noticing, the ones exploited realized something in their final moments. These humans were speaking a different language all along. They were both living things, yet their hearts were created different. Things like the voice of the dishes lined up along the dinner table did not exist to them. To the voice of the other humans would never in a lifetime reach them. It is not a matter limited to just their court. Thus said the ones who oversaw them. Those are the privileged few who use this as tools. This world is governed by humans who are not humans. He was told his function was to kill just one person for them. He didn't think it was evil. Mentally, he was already perfect. His morality was bred for the convenience of the... To him, murder was not evil. If anything was evil, then it was the actions that were not logical. The logic of the tool. The logic of existence. Simply put, if an ink brush loses its use, then it is evil. If something made for killing people overlooks a target, that is injustice. If you put it this way, we're not doing anything wrong. They were creatures that had been given such preferences and privileges to begin with. If they cared about their slaves, then the reasoning by which the world was managed would not stand. And that was how he was taught. While he witnessed the cruelty, he did not detest them. If there was something evil, it was just one thing. Do not doubt one's own function. That should have been what was correct for him. Yet for some reason, he still thought about it. What if he were to be given a function altogether different from this one? He thought of things that could be nothing but evil. Like what kind of tool would he have then become? Towards his function, his daily routine continued. The art bestowed upon him was a fighting style called Snake, but he had perfected it many years ago. Nevertheless, his daily routine did not change. No new techniques would be given to him. He was simply created as a snake tool. However much capacity he had, there would be no meaning in adding other functions. And like that, another 10 years passed, and he reached the 20th. Finally nearing his expiration date as a tool, he was given a chance to exert his potential. Your perfection costs 20 million in time and money. If there was anything different there from other organizations, that would be it. No matter what type of tool they were, no matter what kind of function they had, one man, one kill rule was strictly observed. The exact same and awaited both outstanding talent and average junk. A tool that cost 20 million should do work worth 20 million. Profits will be taken. You will not be used twice. Kill yourself after fulfilling your duty. Those were their absolute rules. Ordered to kill this person, he underwent training beyond human comprehension, and then, having finally perfected the technique after 10 years of practice, he will display it only once before putting it into everything. He obeyed in silence. It was said the target laid out layer upon layer of defenses. The social position necessary for smoothly making contact would be provided by the... After that, he just had to proceed with his body alone. Proceeding empty-handed was done solely to make it easier to make contact with the key individual. When they leave the forest, they are promised death. A journey to die, regardless of the success or failure. Feelings of happiness. Frankly, they were likely there, however faint. Setting a balance of 20 years. Finding out the extent of his function. Even if the outcome was death, there was still plenty to look forward to. The work ended all too quickly. There were none of the expected guards or barriers. When he visited the building to do preliminary inspections for the real thing, he ended up finishing the job. The emotions at that moment were not easy to put into words. What came flying into his chest was nothing. Neither joy nor sadness. Neither disgust nor happiness. Shouldn't there be something? He thought his function would be accompanied by some emotion, but not a single ripple disturbed his mind. If only... Suppose something did move within him at that moment. Wouldn't that make him a different being altogether? If there was happiness, then on to the suicide. If there was sadness, then on to being a natural-born killer. But there had been nothing. Feelings and so forth, there were none whatsoever, and the fruits of the technique he spent 20 years tempering. There was neither pleasure nor discomfort when he killed. Only the feeling of the puppet-like target's neck breaking was left in the palm of his hand. There was no reward, nor was there compensation. The shock of taking a person's life was nowhere to be found. Even his function itself seemed strange. Didn't need it. It was completely unnecessary. The murder of his target required no technique whatsoever. It was more like an accident, a level of difficulty that needed no training, an assassination that kids in the neighborhood could have performed. It was all excessive. How on earth could something like 20 years of training have been needed? His function that was left with nothing. A pilgrimage that was of no meaning to begin with. It's not that death surfaced. There's probably no reason. There was no reason in anything. Before the corpse that he only knew the name of, he became aware of his usual apathetic self. I'm dull. Drawing that conclusion himself, he then decided to liquidate the person he was up until then. He did not commit suicide, but instead withdrew from the gathering and became independent. He did not even think about the option of going underground and hiding himself. He quite naturally moved to a faraway town and used the social position that was given to him for fulfilling his function. The personality prepared for him was one of a teacher, but he was able to master the basic knowledge and skills somehow. He had no difficulty adjusting to his new role, his completely different life. But there was just one trivial matter bothering him, like a small thorn stuck in the recesses of his mind. He did not realize what that strange feeling was until the very end. The life that he did not assume would continue for more than half a year. In fact, continued for 5 years, so he's 25, okay. Fascinating. There were none that searched for him, and he himself decided that he would live without regard for his pursuers. It's not that he yearned for a normal life. In the 20 years he lived, he only polished his technique for killing. If the result was something like that, then all that remained was to disappear without accomplishing anything more, he concluded. In short, he had lost the opportunity to find joy in life. Humans spend the rest of their lives fulfilling the hope they've accumulated up until adulthood. Whether or not they're fulfilled is not the issue. They are, in fact, an anesthesia that can expend time originally filled with nothing but agony. He who had none of this could only continue on meaninglessly. He had neither ideals nor illusions. He decided he would fulfill the duty of living until his own flesh would rot away, until the tool known as himself ceased to work. That would seem to make him a cold-hearted machine, but he was human, no different from those around him. It's just that his inspiration had died. What is dead does not revive. It is not that it's sleeping in the depths of his heart, or that it's regressed or anything. This doesn't exist anymore. No matter how human-like a life he tries to live, he will never, in his life, feel inspiration. He never thought it to be painful, and people around him assumed he was strong too. There's nothing wrong with that assumption. But he did make an effort to rot away meaninglessly like this. With his dead heart, he walked the path of hell and endeavored to live among humans. And then he met that pale woman. He was returning home after finishing the day's work. As he was heading towards the temple gate, he caught sounds of something coming from the forest. Having been indebted to the temple, he took it as his obligation to see what was going on, and found a woman covered in blood. The woman wrapped in the black cloak was so weak that it seemed she would disappear in any moment. She seemed so frail that the word vanish, rather than die, would be more fitting to describe her appearance. Later on, that witch would think, this meeting was a miracle. But the thought was not hers alone. Even if it were an illusion, the impossible had happened. The heart that had beat at the same rhythm for 10 years had stopped for just an instant. The interruption had been but a minor effect, but it did change the beat. Something that should have been dead trembled, as if to stir. What are you doing there? The woman collapsed without responding to his call. Forced in the night, rain, a weakened body, clearly not a decent person. Trivial matters, including the cloak covered in blood. This woman is dangerous. Even if he tried to distance himself from it, he was out of place as well. There was no way he couldn't pick up on the scent of one who was the same as him. But still, he looked after that woman. It was not out of sympathy for someone similar, a fellow murderer that he saved. He helped because the person had collapsed before him. The reason why he saved her was simply that. The woman awoke in about an hour. So you've woken up. Can you tell me about your situation? The woman stared at him dazed. There was neither bewilderment nor delight. She looked as if her despair of being alive had turned to tears and were about to spill forth. If what I did was an inconvenience, then you can leave. If you tell me to forget about it, then I will. How did the woman take his words? Did she think she could use him, or did she let her guard down at his kindness? The woman divulged her background, and he all too quickly accepted her rather peculiar identity. He embraced the woman, and also acknowledged participation in the killings known as the Holy Grail. Oh wow, she told him everything. Okay, wow. Of course, the witch was probably surprised too. The woman's condition was, although slightly, improving. Because while she gloated that she would have the moment she was rejected, used magic to control his heart, her vile schemes were undone with just a single statement. It's not that he consented to her out of fear, or that he was interested in the Holy Grail. He cooperated with the woman because she had asked for his help. He was a man who saw no evil in murder to begin with. He had no reluctance to becoming a master. However, the truth is that he cooperated to distance himself from the past. If you assume there was a mode of disconnection, then this would be it. He did not realize why he had abandoned the life he had worked for until now, and taken up the woman's cause. Do your utmost to keep our lives this way. Tell me when you need me. This was his policy. He had no desires. It was just that the woman he saved wants something called the Holy Grail. If he fights, then it is not for the Holy Grail, but for the woman. Since he promised to aid and cooperate, lending his strength to the woman is a natural obligation. To him, the Holy Grail was an abnormality, but that was not a wrongdoing. Because to him, evil is defined as something that negates his established function. And so he became the master of Castor. He was a master without command spells, but she obeyed his word. Oh wow, they didn't have command spells? Fascinating. He knew nothing like magic to begin with. She only used him to stay in this world and planned to treat him as a puppet. And he himself did not participate in the Holy Grail War. Rather, he left the fighting to the woman. Not if you watch the anime. If there was ever a chance that he would reject her, it would only happen if she denied the Holy Grail War to begin with. As the user and the used, their relationship was perfect. I want to go back. Yet for the same reason, they did not mesh together as human beings. The more the woman began to change her mind, the more of a reason he had to abandon being a master. And the more he experienced her character, the more he broke down as a tool. And want to return to my country before I die. That sense of nostalgia. He who had no place to return to begin with could not possibly understand it. No, it was an emotion he should not have understood. You fucking fight, no? What the fuck? The battle ended quickly. The gatekeeper, assassin, was defeated by the enemy servants, and the master who went out to face him too was defeated by the Rain of Swords. His abdomen was cruelly torn apart. The arms he spent over 20 years tempering vanished below his shoulders. Master! Master! The woman's voice echoed the temple grounds. The enemy servant seemed to have left, having finished with the servant and master of the temple gate. Oh, this is fate timeline. Only the woman was left, clinging to the remains of her pallid contractor. With eyes that had lost focus, barely able to discern silhouettes, he looked at her. Seeing that crying face, he found himself lamenting over having done something inexcusable. It was not an illusion that his fading consciousness was showing him. It is not an illusion that his fading consciousness was showing him. His heart that should not have existed shed blood on the verge of death. The woman wished to return home. The idea of a place to return to did not exist for him. A repeated sense of nostalgia. A place he'd never seen nor heard of. A dream of paradise that he did not even have the impression to begin with. That he did not know how to take in, even as his last moments. Gaster, get away from here. If he senses your presence, the servant just now will return. He said indifferently. The condition of his body aside, it was a miracle that his spirit was still in good health. Perhaps it was the result of his long days of training. Until the moment his brain stopped working, his mind was clear. What are you saying? Get a hold of yourself. I will definitely heal you. I will not let you die, Master. The woman didn't leave. It was a bit illogical. Of course, losing a master to anchor to is a serious blow, but not to the extent that it would result in death. In fact, she had already lost one before. Considering the possibility of being attacked by the same servant again, it would have been best to leave as quickly as possible and search for another one. Do not underestimate me. I'm a witch. Touching up a dying man or two is not a problem. A miracle would not happen. The magical energy stockpile of the Budo Temple had been destroyed by the enemy servant, and the injuries were inflicted with a mortality curse by their noble phantasm. It's easy. I've done this many times. I will not fail. I will not fail. I will not fail. I've never had any trouble with such a simple treatment. Whilst crying, the woman recited magic as if apologizing. But it was no use. Even the divine words she spoke of had lost their usual power. This woman's face filled with more sadness with each passing moment. No, please help. Someone, please, please. Please help, please help. This cannot be. Up until now, I've never failed, not even once. Neither healing the wounds nor regenerating his body was fast enough. She could not save anything. A witch's role is only to cripple humans. Even if she could cure people and animate the dead, genuinely saving a person was simply not possible. Perhaps it was because she hadn't really tried to save anyone up until now. She had not known of the rule until this very moment. Crying. Magic did not work. She called for help, but no aid ever came. The sky she looked up at was high, but she could not stop his falling body temperature. No, please don't die. Please don't die, please. Please don't die, Soichiro. He hears wailing. Looking at her crying face gives him a headache. He realizes that this is because of sadness, and finally accepted that he could not become a tool. He just thought to live normally. When he murdered a person and became free, he accordingly took up the view that the rest of his life could only be spent away. What a blatant lie. He dared not admit it, but he actually regretted that. He always kept in his heart those meaningless 20 years and the person he'd killed whom he'd only ever known by name. He always thought it was wrong to kill someone who he only knew the name of. But that was not a killing born from his own motive. He was not an adult born from his own will. How should he have atoned for his mistake? It had been fun. It was easy to do nothing but hone one single technique, to forget about thinking and be a tool. Being preoccupied with that, he erased 2 lives without a single consideration. Is there any evil greater than this? Even if those who raised him were to shoulder a part of his crime, even if he didn't know a thing, what killed another person was inevitably his own hands. The reason why he went on to live was because he didn't know how to atone. He stopped practicing the technique that he could call his one and only purpose, and slowly buried it within his daily life. Wishing for nothing, gaining nothing. That was the best form of atonement he could conceive in his mind. That way of living crumbled after meeting this woman, a pale-looking lady wandering about in the cold rain. She was simply beautiful, more beautiful than any woman he had seen before. That was the only reason. To that beautiful creature, he reached out his hand. Looking back on it, throwing away all those days of atonement he had accumulated and lending her a hand was surely... I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. The woman's voice had turned into a cry. What he thought was rain was something much warmer. The woman did not leave. Just as that night, arms covered in blood clung to his chest. It is truly sad that he could not see her face anymore, he thought. I see. I finally realized. It took too long, but still there was some time. He had for a long time wanted to apologize to something. Things he had regretted. Something he had to beg for forgiveness. Since long ago. For that which he had vaguely carried until now. He had wanted to live for someone's sake. To that pure longing. Castor. The woman who would not leave. Even the footsteps of death may have already gotten close. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. It seems the apology was directed at him. That's enough. He could no longer apologize, but in exchange this woman had done it for him. Only one concern remained. He had to release this beautiful bird back to where it came from. Castor. The woman could by no means leave him. When he could no longer see anything, in the internal interval when he would allow for everything. It's all right. Just go already. You cannot stay here. Feeling more peaceful than he ever had, he told the woman who clung to his remains. Where the woman who was left took off to is already a distant story. The woman was not what he thought her to be. The conclusion was not one he had hoped for. The story of the fallen killer and the witch ends here. If there was any salvation, it was in the brief instant after they had met. The life that lasted less than a month was filled with many times more humanity and tranquility than what had existed up until then. Dizziness overcame her. as if having seen a fragmented dream. The witch in the black cloak is liberated from the evening rain. She narrowed her eyes with a slight vertigo and looked up at the gloomy sky. No point in being told something I could never do. I didn't even have wings to begin with. But surely, you saw her that way until the very end. Even if she'd fallen to the ground, her wings were light. Someday, they would slough off the dirt and return to the skies. Really, he just didn't stop to think. Surely there's an occasional migratory bird that takes a liking to the place she landed, and it forgets about the skies. To even consider something so convenient. To not even consider something so convenient. She smiles ever so slightly at the monologue. As if drifting off to sleep, the witch slowly closes her eyelids, as if to bury herself in a short-lived dream. She held tightly to the moment from which she will eventually awaken. This is yet another fragment. A fragment that has already passed on, broken into pieces, and, after faltering for a brief moment within the heart of the bearer, ceased to resist and simply flows away. So, with that only the mind, she could not exist. And with only the body, she could not leave footprints. At the very least, the spring that did not come could be admired unbeknownst to others, and this paradise of a town. A wallpaper was added. I like that it takes a beat there to let you digest that, sit with it for a bit. What a story. Just call it a day. I'm gonna get to the other days. But ironically, or unfortunately enough, maybe not tonight. Hold on. I'll just be thorough about this. Anything at all. Call it a day. I might even, since we're pre-recording this, I might even... Okay, there we go. Some new stuff that's... Oh, shit, that's great stuff. No. Okay, fine. It's Crayon Shin-Chan. Fuck it, let's see. There's always shit to do here. Like, go play with a quiz ogre. Hey, quiz ogre. Right. Forest Ruins. Quiz ogre time. It's quiz ogre time. Let me do the quiz ogre. You exploded, that's right. I fear some Baruma, truly a man's man woman. Dream is destroyed, yet Tiger remains. There she is. The destroyer of everything she touches has remained here, in the crosspoint between worlds. Welcome you. You two to meet someone stronger than me. Sounds bloody, I think I'll pass. He's the sergeant from before. And he was Quiz Ogre, the legendary Quiz Ogre, the 9-way pass. Ah! This is becoming troubling in more ways than one. It's because of the jewel sword explosion that Tosaka caused. Something worse than radioactivity has been leaking into the Ainsburn forest, it seems. You there, don't make such an obviously displeased face. When a Rome do as the Romans do, blah blah blah. Let me do the quiz already. It's delicious rice. Who's even gonna believe that? As if I'd even want one. What wonderful spinal reflexes. It said that it just hadn't anticipated. Okay, since going to this letter, battle to the death begin. Will you survive or will I eat myself in a bankruptcy? I decided. Whatever. Going on the quiz. Quiz Dojo. Show me your best. It's kind of a pain. I'll leave the choice up to you. For real? What a good boy you are, showing such proper respect to your superiors. Oni-chan is so happy. However... Oh god. At least such an important choice to a foe! You rank amateur. Did you think you can get by the quiz ogre so easily? Fine. We can like you is only fit to taste the wrath of my super high-level quiz. Oh shit, what's that face? Only those who achieve a perfect score shall be granted a lovely wallpaper featuring yours truly. Is that it? The Holy Grail in the original Fate story is the... Ah, shit, that's right. They did say... Ooh. Save and title. Save and exit. I don't know. This is a guess. Oh shit, I did it. Let's go. This is hard. What do you think was Makidera's ancestor's occupation? What do I think? Pirates? All right. Is there even a correct answer in there? Which one of Saber's attributes is less than A? Master Tosa. Master Rin. Ooh. Well, it's not luck. Would it be strength? Hmm. I'm gonna guess, and my guess is gonna be... Fuck, I don't know. It's definitely not luck. They've said that her luck is like crazy high, and that's kind of what allowed her survive Gable. Hmm. Oh, I knew it. It sounds fishing. Wow. Holy shit. It's like real ass shit. When did Fate go on sale? Shit. Um. I have to assume it was similar to the time in which it was it took place, which I think was in the winter or abouts there, but still like the winter semester. January, February, March, April. I want to say November. Shit, man. This is hard. Mada dane. Um, I'll go back. Well, I'm happy to receive Ilia's kind invitation. I better be getting back into town. The Holy Grail has already restarted. The Holy Grail War has restarted. I went out to the castle without telling anyone, and I bet they'll start worrying right about now. Thanks, Ilia, but I better getting back. I'll stay the night next time I come over. But it'll be difficult to go back this late. Shirou, why do you worry about Sakura and the others even at times like this? Lady, we must not be unreasonable. Come, there's Rit. Emiya-sama will be leaving now. See him out as far as the forest. Okay, too bad though. Shirou, going home. That takes care of that. Really hate to go, but this is it for today. See you, Ilia. Be back again. I wave to her as I say goodbye. Fine, but you better stay over next time like you said. You better do it, Shirou. Well done, Emiya-sama. It seems that even now you can show moderation at times. Liz shows me out to the lobby. It'll probably be dark out by the time I get back to the city. Well then, how should I spend the final night? Presumably being attacked by the wolf monsters. Oh, okay, no, never mind. We'll call it a day and sleep peacefully. One day I gotta do that quiz ogre shit and do it right. I don't know, let's see. I think it was in special. Did we get anything new from the Tosaka Shrine? Of course not. Let's see the wallpaper. Did I already do this one? Fascinating. No way it's like that. That's a cool one. Wait, why does she have two? Unless one is Caliber and an Excalibur. Set as wallpaper. I don't think you can. Stay night. That one I already had. Oh, shit. Stupid mouse double clicking. Why are you hanging yourself, Sakura? Oh, this is a popularity poll. Oh, that's fun. So Saber got first. Rin got second. He got third. Nice. Fourth. Who got fifth? Where's fifth? Fifth is Ilya. Sixth, seventh. Eight. Nice. Coup. 8. 9. No, Taiga. Nice. Caster got 10th. Shirou got 17th. And she got 11th. Fun. Some of these go hard as fuck. Like, this is a really good one. I think this might have been like a key visual. Like, if I didn't know better, I would have assumed this is like a key visual for the anime. Oh, shit. Wind it back over. Okay. That's enough of that. That's about a full episode. I can have pride in that one. All right. So that's it for that, guys. All goes well, and I do my job well. I should have this up sometime within this next Saturday, but maybe not. All right, we got to make a call. All right. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your week, rest of your day, rest of your month. Elden Ring Night Rain came out recently, and I got it, and I was really struggling up until I got the Duchess and the Revenant, and now I think I might be able to do like a solo run easy. But anyway, all that aside, I hope you guys have a good time doing whatever you're going to be doing. Deltarune 3 also dropped. I guess 3 and 4. I'm not going to be doing that myself, as I have plans with a friend maybe that I'm not going to talk about just in case. But up until then, take care of yourselves, guys, and I'll catch you later. Bye.